We return with Gachiakuta episode 22. This episode starts off with a young boy notifying his father about what's going on outside, and as they're looking, the trash storm begins, and so we see the boy begin to cry. Right after we cut to the opening, once we come back, we return back to normal where we left off. Hugh is high powered and electrifying. With Hugh making her appearance with this form, Rudo's confused on what's going on. This is when Zodyl picks up, and we get to hear something that is quite interesting. She's willing to affect us too, meaning she's gonna basically destroy probably everything in her pathway in order to get this revenge. So Zodyl takes us the time to gather the others along with them. As he's making this exit, he talks forward to Rudo. Watch and see what can be accomplished by one who has cast away what's precious to them. Then right after, he tells Rudo, when this is all over, I'll retrieve the Watchman series entries. As Zodyl begins to disappear into the portal, Rudo runs forward. He asks about a Mo. Boone is standing outside. We hear him say something. Looks like he really doesn't know. He goes inside, and they fade away as Rudo stands there in his footsteps. So with Zodyl and the others gone, we get to hear from Hugh that she is a pawn. She's okay with that. In fact, she's doing it because she is a proud raider. She's going to sacrifice every worth of her hair, and it seems like even herself, just so the cleaners can't escape. After a cut to the title card, Hugh begins attacking by using her electricity to shock all the cleaners. While that is going on, we get to see Fu is crying still in the tunnel about how everyone left him behind. As Fu sits there feeling sorry for himself, something kind of crazy happens. We hear the voice of someone else, and they're basically saying, "You can't do anything without me." This is when Fu refers to someone as Master Hai, and then we hear the same person say, "I'll take charge from now on." This brings in more mystery because all we can see of this person appears some type of hat and some horns. They say, if we've really been abandoned, I'll get us out of here. We also transition to see this trash beast has almost made it to the halfway point. Finally, back to the Hugh fight. Hugh is using so much electricity here that she is actually burning her own hair. So anywhere you're seeing fire, it's because of how much electricity output she is using. As Hugh's hair continues to burn, she wants to get it over with. They edge closer and closer to the border, and she is just ready to kill them. This much electricity has pinned her cleaners to the ground. Rio sits there and thinks, I really should have killed her back there. Oh my goodness. So Rio is just fading away. Next thing you know, Rudo is somehow able to move, and this takes Hugh by surprise. She is just like losing it. Rather than Hugh being Rudo's ultimate goal that he's going for, it's the core. At the same time, we have more buildup going on. Jin notices where Rudo has hit the wall earlier, there is air gasping in. As Jin notices, we get to see they have finally hit the border. That same crack ends up turning into a hole in the wall. The air begins to gasp out and take a bunch of different things with it, and one of those things is Hugh. She doesn't give up straight away. She grabs on. She looks back at the cleaners, and finally she lets go. As she's exiting out, we hear her say, and like a talk to Zodyl, except Zodyl isn't there. It's like eternal thought. I got them this far, Zodyl. So is this like an intentional plan to get them all the way there for some sort of bigger plan? So we now see Hugh out here floating like it's outer space. And then we play her backstory, which seems like Zodyl is hitting on her. It's her younger self. And that's when Zodyl talks about something to her, but we don't get to hear what it is. But something we do know is her vital instrument was given to her by Zodyl himself. As we come back to the current situation, Hugh begins to cry, and she just sits there and admires how beautiful it is out here to the border, even saying Zodyl's name again eternally. As she watches out, it's almost like she sees a creature or something. Whatever is off in the distance is something insane. All we can see is some clouds and some like really like weird arms, hand things. A lot is going on here. It's really a lot to take in. She's going on about what happens at this moment when you get this far. Everything gets stolen from you, and we see some sort of letter that says, "I got him this far, Zodyl." This is where they drop one of the biggest bombs ever. As she loses her comb, this is where she says it. The border is the watchman. What is this? Hugh didn't actually get to finish what she was saying, but we can make a pretty good guess here. She gets obliterated, and we'll probably never see her again. RIP Hugh. Back with the cleaners, a bunch of stuff is still getting sucked out. They're clinging down there for dear life. But Rudu notices something just like us. It looked like it all got dark for a second, so he actually saw whatever it was that happened to Hugh. Also going over to Engine, he has some urgency. He wants to take care of this thing before they cross the border, and we see him look at a pocket and fill it as he says, "Will I have to use this? What could it be? No clue. Maybe another vital instrument. A lot of guesses here." As Engine is sitting there worried, thinking, "You'll never guess who comes from the corner." It is Gita, who is able to easily walk along with dragging our good friend Zonka. This is cinema, bro. So Engine's worried until he realizes that it's Gita. And then we get to finally see what Gita can do. Vital instrument, Gita, and there she transforms into her giant form. It is the most fun thing you'll ever see. She simply solves our first problem, and that's plugging the hole in the wall. Shows she uses her own tail. It's just the best thing ever, like I was saying. As the cleaners prepare themselves to destroy the core, this is when we get to see Zodyl again. It's a nice transition. They're by some sort of skeleton remain. Bundus then asks him as they watch the stress storm die off, why would that imitation trash piece would stand a chance? Asking why did he pick that preferably? And Zodyl doesn't answer right away. Zodyl's response, that beast had the power of protection. So you're literally telling me that it would have protected them and he was actually making Ruta's wish come true? What? Dude, this series is really pulling this mind stuff. In beautiful transition, we see a multi-attack done by Engine, Rio, and Rudo straight to the core. After such a big impact, it begins to recoil back. As Rudo is sitting there mid-air, he actually gets to see the core. Also, with the result of this trash-based core being destroyed, it begins to fall apart. So they're going to take the genius way out of here, and that is riding Gita in full dragon form. Just awesome. That's it. It's awesome. Which they make a not so excellent landing. With him now being back on the ground, we hear Engine talk about Penta, which reminds Rudo, I never got to find out what happened to Amo. This then turns into Rudo thinking about everything that Zola has told him up till this point. For our big finale, we have the rest of the cleaners pull up. This is when we get to see Rudo see Chris again, and there he calls him Big Brother as he passes out. I'm not going to say a lot about this episode because it is simply that amazing. I can't recommend the series enough. We're down to 2 more episodes, and it's going to be really sad, but I feel like whenever this comes back, it's going to come stronger than ever. And within these next 2 episodes, I'm going to say we're going to have a big setup for something, and I think we just need to say it now. This is not the last of Zodyl for sure. If I'm going to rate this episode, I'm going to say it's a 9.5. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on Gachiakuta episode 22. Hope you stay safe, and until next time, peace out, guys.